Do you feel safe? Well, most of us feel safe. We live in a safe country. Yeah, there's crime and stuff like that, but yeah, we're pretty safe, aren't we? But imagine that you're part of the royal family. Everybody knows the royal family. And if you're part of the royal family, everybody will know you. Now imagine if you decided, right, I'm not part of the royal family anymore. That doesn't stop people from knowing who you are. And there's a lot of weirdos out there. In other words, there's people who want to hurt you. So in that scenario, you need something called protection. But Prince Harry has left the royal family and he ain't got protection. And in this video, you're going to find out what's going on.
Analyzing the news.
So what's going on with Prince Harry's security? You're not going to believe this. Harry's back in court again. Yeah, the Duke of Drama has now returned back to the UK, not for a royal visit or for a cheeky Nando's, but to battle out the problem that he has with security. This time it's not about any sort of drama that's been made up on Netflix show. It is purely about his safety and who's going to protect him now he's not part of the royal family. Basically, ever since Harry and Meghan did their big "we're leaving the royal family" thing back in 2020, I think it was, his protection from the British Royal Police, you know, the full-on taxpayer one that's funded by us, the UK, the taxpayer, we're paying for his security. I'm walking my dog and I've got no bloody security. Someone could kill me. So his security got taken away, but that is standard. When you step back from being a working royal, you don't keep your security because that's again funded by the taxpayer. He won't now get the security guards hanging around just because he's still technically a prince. Them days are gone, mate. Now you can imagine that Harry's not too happy about that. And to be fair, he might have a point. He says he and his family, Meghan, Archie and Lil Bitch, is that his other child? They still get threats, which isn't good, is it? And the paparazzi still choose him as their point of reference. In other words, they're chasing him like they did his mother, which that's not a nice thing, is it? There are still weird people on the internet still going after him. And he feels like if he brings the kids back to the UK, then they'll be exposed to the danger within the proper police protection, which is kind of safe because the police can't protect him. There's not enough manpower. So again, he's taking the government to court. Now, this isn't the first time. He's done it before. Oh yes, he's done it before. And this has been going on for years, mate. Harry actually first took the Home Office to court a while back, saying the way that they removed the security was unfair. He said he didn't even get a proper say in the decision and that the way they judged his risk was completely wrong. He even offered to pay for the police protection out of his own pocket. Imagine that, a royal actually offering to pay for something, but the government turned around and said no. Their argument was, if you let Harry buy police protection, it opens the door for any rich person to start hiring police officers like private bodyguards. And next thing you'll know, Elon Musk will be walking down Oxford Street with the Met Guard in his shopping bags. So what's he doing in court right now? Well, he's apparently appealing a decision from last year. The High Court already ruled that the government and their decisions to remove his automatic police protection was technically not legal. They said basically that we followed procedures and rules and we're sorry. But rules are rules, laws are laws, and you ain't part of the royal family, mate. So you ain't getting protected. But Harry is not giving up. He's now taking it to the Court of Appeal. That's a big deal. He's trying to prove that the way the decision was made was unfair and that the system is treating him worse than any other person in similar situations. But who's going to ever be in a situation like that? I do feel kind of sorry for him. He didn't ask to be a prince, did he? He was born into it. He's even made a personal appearance in court this week. Flew over, walked right in with this legal team, looking very serious as ever. No Meghan, no kids, just him and his lawyers. So who decides this stuff anyway? It's a community called the RAVEC, short for the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royal and Public Figures. Sounds like something out of a bloody Bond movie, right? Basically, it's a mix of police government officials, trip then, where's my security? And security experts. They look at who needs protection based on a current risk status and their public roles. But again, because he's not a royal, they think, well, what are you now, mate? You're just basically a celebrity, pay for your own security. When Harry stepped back from the royal life, the RAVEC, they decided that he didn't qualify for full-time protection anymore. Instead, they said they'd look at it case by case. Like, if he's coming over for a big event or a funeral, maybe they'll protect him, but not just for general visits. It's too bloody expensive. And remember, it's the taxpayer who's paying for it, not him. Harry reckons that's not good enough. He says the threats don't go away just because he's not doing the ribbon cutting or riding a golden carriage, which is kind of true, isn't it? Because every time you look at Harry, you would just put that link towards him being part of the royal family, but technically he's not. He's just a middle-aged man who's on the telly. Is it really that dangerous for him? Well, that's what he's trying to prove. He says he's still a target, especially with how vocal he has been in the press about the royal family and the tabloids and everything else. Remember, he written that book, didn't he? Spare, is that what it was called? And he was talking very negative about the royal family, his family. You know the deal. He and Meghan basically accused the whole establishment for being toxic, and that's not a kind of thing that makes you popular with certain parts of the public. He also argued that the private security he uses in America doesn't cut it when he's back in the UK. His team over there don't have access to British intelligence or police coordination, so they can't fully protect him from threats on the side of the pond. In other words, the security team he has now, he probably pays them £10 an hour, and they're just security. They're not Secret Service or anything like that. Anyone could be a security guard, even I could. So yeah, he's saying that without proper police support, he and his family are at serious risk whenever they visit the UK, and because of that, he says he doesn't feel safe bringing his kids here, which means they hardly ever come. That's why you never see him in the UK, because of the risk. Okay, so what does the government actually say? Well, the Home Office is sticking to its guns. They're saying the decision was fair, followed by proper process, and that Harry's changed status means he shouldn't automatically get protection, and for him just to use it willy-nilly. They're also holding firm on letting him pay for it. They're saying, if you want it, mate, you're paying for it. They basically said, you're not working for the royals anymore. You can't just pick up and choose the royal perks whenever you want. It ain't happening, mate. And honestly, they're probably a bit worried that if they cave in for Harry, they'll have to do the same for other ex-officials, celebrities, and so on. It's a slippery slope. So what happens now? Well, now that the Court of Appeal has listened to both sides, Harry's team, the government, will decide whether the original ruling was wrong. If they side with Harry, the case might go back to the beginning, or they might order a different sort of process. You see, if they side with the government again, then it's game over, unless Harry wants to try taking it even higher. Possibly he could take it to the Supreme Court. This hearing was meant to last 2 days. Part of it was supposed to be private, since they're talking about sensitive security stuff, but the judges will come back with the ruling sometime in the future. Okay, so what is the big picture here? What is really going on? Well, look, it's not just about bodyguards. This case is about how the UK protects its former royals, how decisions like this get made, and whether someone likes Harry, or like Harry, who's still in the public eye, should be treated like any other celeb, or as someone who is still carrying the risk of royal life. It's also about setting precedent. If Harry wins, it could mean others in a situation get special protection too. But if he loses, it sends a message that stepping down really does mean stepping away, perks and all. But whatever happens, this has already become one of these classic Harry versus the establishment stories. And judging by the headlines, people are watching it very closely.